हेलो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू द यूट्यूब चैनल ऑफ कोनार्क क्लासेस। कोनार्क क्लासेस का यूट्यूब चैनल पे आपका स्वागत है। आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे द प्रॉब्लम्स वेयर वी लेफ्ट विथ इन द लास्ट क्लास। ओके, सो टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू सॉल्व दिस प्रॉब्लम एंड देन फॉलोड बाय द अदर प्रॉब्लम। द क्वेश्चन नंबर 3, find the value of n such that np5 equal to 42 np3. So how to proceed, dear students? So here I am going to write it here that np5, what is np5? That means factorial n divided by factorial n minus 5, correct? That is equal to 42 into np3, that means factorial n divided by factorial n minus 3, correct? Now before I proceed further, one point I would like to tell you that n greater than 4 is a very important statement here. You know why? Because if n is equal to 4 or n is less than 4, then the problem doesn't make sense. For example, if we take n equal to 4, then what is np5? That means 4p5. What is the significance of 4p5? That taking 5 distinct objects from 4 distinct objects. It is not possible. How come you can take 5 distinct objects from 4 distinct objects? Not possible. So that is why n equal to 4 is not possible. In the similar manner, any value less than 4 also not possible. That is why this condition is given. Now let's proceed here. Now we can cancel factorial n in the both left and right hand side because factorial n is not equal to 0. So what we are going to get it here is, dear students, is that n minus 3 factorial in the left hand side, that is equal to 42 into n minus 5 factorial in the right hand side, since n factorial is not equal to 0. Now between n minus 3 factorial and n minus 5 factorial, we need to break down that factorial which is larger till we reach to the lower factorial. Okay, always remember this thing. Whenever there are two factorials in both the sides, we need to break that factorial which is larger till we reach to the lower factorial. So here between n minus 3 factorial and n minus 5 factorial, which one is larger? N minus 3 factorial. So we should break n minus 3 factorial. See the way I am breaking. This implies n minus 3, then n minus 3 minus 1, that is n minus 4, then n minus 4 minus 1, that is n minus 5. So we can write here is that n minus 5 factorial, that is equal to 42 into n minus 5 factorial, correct? Now you see in both the left hand side and right hand side, n minus 5 factorial will get cancelled. Then what we left with? This implies n minus 3 into n minus 4 is equal to 42, and in bracket we should write, since n minus 5 factorial is not equal to 0. That is important to write, dear students. Okay, these are the important conditions. Now let's break it up. So what we get? This implies n square minus 4n minus 3n, that means minus 7n, minus 3 minus 4, that become plus 12. So plus 12 equal to 42. Now this 42, if we bring to the left hand side, that become plus 12 minus 42, that means minus 30. So we can write it here minus 30. So we can write it here is that minus 30. In the right hand side we can write it as 0. Now it comes into the form of a middle term factorization. How? Because this 30 can be broken into two factors, 3 and 10, and their subtraction, that is 3 minus 10 is minus 7. So what we can write here, dear students? We can write is that n square minus 10n plus 3n minus 30 is equal to 0. Now we can take n common from the first two terms. So what we get? N into n minus 10 plus 3 common from the next two terms, that is n minus 10, that is equal to 0. Now between these two we can take n minus 10 common. So what we are going to get, dear students? We get n minus 10 into n plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, so this implies what? This implies either n minus 10 equal to 0 or n plus 3 equal to 0, correct? That implies either n equal to 10 or n equal to minus 3. But dear students, n equal to minus 3 is not possible. Why? Because objects cannot be negative. Okay, so that the acceptable value of n is equal to 10, and we get answer to the first part of this question. Now let's proceed for the second part. Okay, for the second part, let me rub it off and go for the second part. Okay, now the next part, what we are going to do is that np4 by n minus p4 is equal to 5 by 3. So this problem we are going to solve now. So this implies what, dear students? np4 means factorial n divided by factorial n minus 4 divided by n minus 1 p4, that means factorial n minus 1 divided by factorial n minus 1 minus 4, that means factorial n minus 5. This is equal to 5 by 3. Okay, here also, dear students, that n should be greater than 4. If n is equal to 4, see, then what will happen, that 4p4 is makes sense, but 4 minus 1, that is 3p4, doesn't make sense. 3p4 means what? As I said few minutes back, taking 4 objects from the 3 objects, which is not possible. So that is why n should be greater than 4. So now what we get here, dear students, is that we can write from here, this implies that n factorial into n minus 5 factorial divided by n minus 1 factorial into n minus 4 factorial is equal to 5 by 3. Now always remember, whenever we get this type of stuff, that we need to break that factorial which is larger. See, between n factorial and n minus 1 factorial, n factorial is larger. So what we should do? We should break that n factorial till what? Till we reach n minus 1 factorial. That means here we write n into n minus 1 factorial. And we keep between n minus 5 factorial and n minus 4 factorial, which one is larger? N minus 4 factorial is larger. So we should keep as it is n minus 5 factorial in the numerator, rather in the denominator. Okay, after keeping that n minus 1 factorial, we should break n minus 4 factorial is that n minus 4 into n minus 5 factorial is equal to 5 by 3. See, knowing the steps how the problem is getting solved is very important. I repeat, between n factorial and n minus 1 factorial, I should break n factorial because n factorial is larger than n minus 1 factorial till we reach n minus 1 factorial. Why so? Then n minus 1 factorial and n minus 1 factorial would get cancelled. Same thing for n minus 1 factorial and n minus 5 factorial. Which one is larger? N minus 4 factorial is larger. So you should start breaking n minus 4 factorial to get n minus 4 into n minus 5 factorial. That n minus 5 factorial will get cancelled with the n minus 5 factorial in the numerator. So what we get, dear students? N minus 1 factorial, n minus 1 factorial got cancelled. n minus 5 factorial, n minus 5 factorial get cancelled. How you are able to cancel it? Because both of them are not equal to 0. Factorial of anything cannot be equal to 0, so we can cancel it. So what we are going to get it from here, dear students? We get n by n minus 4 is equal to 5 by 3. In bracket we should write, since n minus 1 factorial is not equal to 0 and n minus 5 factorial is not equal to 0. So then what we can write here, dear students? We can write, this implies that 5n minus 20 is equal to 3n. This implies 2n is equal to 20, and hence we get the value of n as 10. Okay, got it? So we found the value of n equal to 10. Now let's proceed further, and let me write down the question here. The next question is that find the value of r. Let me rub it off. Okay. So question number 4. The question number 4 is that find the value of r, that is find r. Find r if 5 into 4 PR, 5 into 4 PR is equal to 6 into 5p r minus 1. Okay, so let's see how to proceed further. Okay, now any condition on r? No condition on r is given. Okay, now what we can get from here? So this implies that 5 into 4 factorial divided by 4 minus r factorial, that is equal to 6 into 5 factorial divided by 5 minus r plus 1, right? So let me write it down. 5 minus r plus 1 factorial, correct? So that means 6 minus r factorial. We can write that is equal to 6 minus r factorial, correct, dear students? 6 minus r factorial. So now what we can write it here? The same concept, that between two factorials we should break that factorial which is larger till we go to the lower factorial. So between 4 factorial and 5 factorial, which one is larger? 5 factorial. So we should break 5 factorial till we reach 4 factorial. So let me write it here. So this implies this is equal to 5 into 4 factorial divided by, so let me write in the numerator of the right hand side also, 6 into 5 factorial means 5 into 4 factorial. So I have breaking that 5 factorial till we reach 4 factorial, so that 4 factorial can cancel with the 4 factorial in the left hand side, and in the denominator of both left hand side and right hand side, that we see 4 minus r factorial and 6 minus r factorial. Which one is larger? Definitely that 6 minus r factorial is larger, correct, because r has to be a positive number, so 6 minus r should be more than 4 minus r. So we should keep 4 minus r factorial as it is. In the right hand side we should write 6 minus r, then 6 minus r minus 1, that is 5 minus r, 5 minus r, then 5 minus r minus 1, that is 4 minus r, and we will write the 4 minus r factorial, 4 minus r factorial. Now let's see, dear students, that in the numerator 4 factorial and 4 factorial got cancelled, and in the denominator 4 minus r factorial and 4 minus r factorial get cancelled, because 4 minus r factorial cannot be equal to 0, cannot be equal to 0. So now dear students, what we are land up with, okay, again another thing it will cancel, 5 will get cancelled in both left hand and right hand side. So what we get is that this implies 6 minus r into 5 minus r, that is equal to 6. Okay, so now let's break it off. 6 minus r into 5 minus r, this implies 6 into 5 is 30. Okay, minus 6r minus 5r, that means minus 11r. Okay, and minus r, that means plus r square is equal to 6. That implies what, dear students? R square minus 11r, r square minus 11r, then plus 24 is equal to 0. Now again it is coming in the middle term factorization. The 24 has to be broken into two factors whose sum should be equal to 11. What is that? 8 and 3. 8 into 3 is 24 and 8 plus 3 is 11. So what we can write here, dear students? So this implies r square minus 8r minus 3r plus 24 is equal to 0. That implies, so what we get in the r square minus 8r, we take r common, we get r minus 8, minus 3 common, what we get? R minus 8 is equal to 0. Correct na? R square minus 8r, so r we take common, that we get r minus 8, and from these two we get minus 3 common, r minus 8. Now from these two we get r minus 8 common. So this implies what we get is that r minus 8 into r minus 3 is equal to 0. This implies what, dear students? This implies either r minus 8 equal to 0 or r minus 3 equal to 0. Now r minus 8 equal to 0 means r equal to 8. That implies, this implies either r equal to 8 or r equal to 3. Now out of these two values, you know that if we take r equal to 8, that is not having any meaning in context to the question. What is the question? 4pr. What is the meaning of 4p8? Means taking 8 distinct objects from the 4 distinct objects. How it is possible? That is not possible. Okay, in the similar manner, 5pr minus 1, when you take r equal to 8, that means 5p7. That also doesn't make sense. So what is the acceptable value of r? Acceptable value of r is equal to 3. Okay, so this is the justification you need to give while solving questions. Okay, so whenever you get this kind of values, then you apply those values in the given question to make sense, so to make sure that whether that is making any sense or not. For example, r equal to 8 we get, but that doesn't make sense in context to the question, so that cannot be a solution. Okay, so whereas r equal to 3 is acceptable solution. Okay, now let's proceed to the next question, dear students. Okay, so let me rub it off and proceed to the next question. So the question here is, question number 5 is find the number of different 8 letter arrangements. Find the number of the number of different eight letter arrangements okay, that can be made from the letter of the word, that can be made from the letter of the word, made from the letters of the word, from the letters of the word daughter, DAUGHTER. Okay, so that number one, all vowels occur together. All vowels occur together, and the second one is that all vowels do not occur together. All vowels do not occur together. Okay, important question, lot of things to learn from here. So if we look into these letters of the word, that is daughter, all the letters are distinct. Okay, so let me explain the solution in a different color. All the letters are distinct. Okay, now as vowels coming into this question, so let us identify what are the vowels. Out of this letter daughter, if I say here, what are the vowels? Vowels are A, U and E. Okay, in the first question all vowels are together. That means we can make A, U and E together and consider one single object. Once we consider A, U and E together and a single object, what are the other objects? We get D, then G, then H, T and R. So total how many objects now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Total 6 objects, because this A, U and E I club together and make a single object. Why so? Because the first question is that all vowels occur together. So now all vowels occur together, A, U, E. Now the point is that how many number of different 8 letters arrangement possible. So how many ways we can make this arrangement, how many objects are there? After considering A, U and E together a single object, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is 6 factorial. In 6 factorial ways we can make this 6 different objects arranged together. Now in each of these arrangement we can make that A, U and E permute among themselves in 3 factorial ways. I repeat, principle of multiplication, concept of principle of multiplication is here. So the moment we consider A, U and E together a single object, we are left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 objects. Now those 6 objects can be arranged among themselves in 6 factorial ways that we have written. Now for each of these 6 factorial ways, that the A, U and E, these 3 vowels can be arranged among themselves in 3 factorial ways. So leveraging the principle of multiplication, what is the total number of possible arrangements? 6 factorial into 3 factorial. Correct or not? This is the number. So let me write down the number here, 6 factorial into 3 factorial. I am not spending time to compute this one. That will come as 4,320. Now let's come to the next one. Okay, all vowels do not occur together. Okay, so how to approach this question? So to approach this question, what we will do, so let's forget about the vowels. If we forget about the vowels, how many letters are there? 8 letters. So those 8 letters can be arranged in how many ways? 8 factorial ways, because all these 8 letters are distinct. So 8 factorial is the total number of ways in which that these 8 letters can be permute among themselves, arranged among themselves. 8 factorial. Now all these 8 factorials, there are arrangements where the vowels are together and where vowels are not together. Correct or not? So now from there, if we subtract where the vowels are together, then we will get the required number of the arrangements where the vowel doesn't occur together. So that means the required number should be 8 factorial minus 6 factorial into 3 factorial. Correct? And if we make this thing, so what is the value we are going to get? So let me make little bit of simplification here. So that we can write is that 8 factorial is that 8 into 7 into 6 factorial minus 6 factorial into 3 factorial. So we can take 6 factorial common, then what we get here, 6, if we take 6 factorial common, then we get 56 minus 3 factorial, that is 6. So it becomes 6 factorial into 50. So I am not spending in computing this value. Later I put that number from the note and you can find it out. You will get the same value. That comes actually 36,000. Okay, dear students, I hope you got it. This is very important to understand, that all vowels not occur together. That means all the permutations where vowels are together and not together mix up. From there we subtract the permutations where the vowels are together. This is 4320. So 8 factorial minus 4320, you will get the same value, 36,000. Okay, dear students, so now we can proceed to the next question, and next question I am going to write. Okay. Okay, question number 6, and that will be the last question, and after that I will proceed for lunch. Okay, the question number 6 is that in how many ways, in how many ways can 4 red 3 yellow, 4 red 3 yellow and 2 green discs and 2 green discs, 2 green be arranged in a row, if the discs of the same color, if the discs of the same color are are indistinguishable. That indistinguishable statement is very important. In how many ways can 4 red, okay, 4 red, 3 yellow, okay, 4 red, 3 yellow and 2 green, okay. So there are 4 red, red is 4, that means 1. So if I can make this thing in the red color, so it will be something like this, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it is coming that yellow. So yellow color marker I don't have. So let me represent by blue 3 and 2 green discs, okay, green. So green will be like this 2, okay. So these are green. Okay, be arranged in a row if the discs of the same color are indistinguishable. That means by looking into these 4 red discs, you cannot differentiate among themselves because they are of the same shape and same size, same color. Same thing is true for yellow and green. So in how many ways, okay, can be arrangement is possible? What are the total number of objects? The total number of objects is 4 plus 3 plus 2, that is 9. So 9 factorial divided by, there are 4 objects are of one kind, that is red type, okay. So that is 4 factorial into, there are 3 objects of one type, one kind, another kind, you can say yellow, that is 3 factorial into, there are 2 objects of another kind, that is 2 factorial. So 9 factorial divided by 4 factorial into 3 factorial into 2 factorial. How to proceed, dear students? Whichever is the larger, that should be, which factorial is larger, that should be broken down till we reach to the next lower factorial. So that should be equal to 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 factorial. Why so? Because that 4 factorial in the numerator will get cancelled with the 4 factorial into the denominator. Correct? So this 4 factorial get cancelled with this 4 factorial. Then this 3 and 2 get cancelled with 6 and these 2 get cancelled with 4. Okay, so what we get is that we get the number as 9 into 7 into 4 into 5. So if I write down that number, so it is coming as 1260. Okay, so with this note I would like to conclude the session here. In the next session we will discuss one question and that will end the discussion of the fundamental level of questions on permutation. Thank you very much.